And now, the last word. Friday marked a monumental moment in our nation's history. On August 6, 1965, President Lyndon Baines Johnson signed the Voting Rights Act into law. The landmark legislation banned voting policies of southern states that kept Black Americans from casting ballots. 1965. Think about that for a moment. 1965. Just 56 years ago, a time many of you can remember, and if you can't, your parents and grandparents can. Black people in Texas had to jump through hoops to cast a ballot, hoops that, for many, were just too high to reach. And even if you could pay the poll tax and find transportation to the colored polls, you weren't allowed to vote in all elections. I can stand here and talk about the history all morning, but let's hear from someone who lived it.
When I first voted, 60-some years ago, I had to buy a poll tax. And they did not exempt me as they did others. And Texas has had a poll tax, and we did not get rid of our poll tax until 1966, even though the law had been passed. I could not vote. My grandmother could not vote in the primary, Chairman Raskin. And you want to know why? Because she was Black, and primaries was for white only.
State Representative Synfronia Thompson is the longest-serving woman in the Texas House, someone elected decade after decade by the people of Houston to represent them. She's respected in the halls of the Capitol, has served in numerous leadership positions. She is educated, accomplished, a patriot, but none of that mattered. 1965. And here we are, 56 years later, and lawmakers are still fighting about voting. If you've watched KVUE for some time now, you know I am passionate about voting. Every chance I get, I'm on TV advocating for you to vote. I mean, I launched a whole initiative called Vote Texas. My message hasn't changed. No matter what is said, no matter what law is passed, no matter who is in the polling location watching you, vote. If your ballot wasn't so important, if you truly had no power, if your one vote didn't make a difference, there wouldn't be a fight happening inside 1100 Congress Avenue. That's the last word. And this has been Texas This Week.